Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Hope you're having a good night. If you haven't already, please take a second
just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell,
just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So let's get straight to it.
Y'all, check this out. And you can see from the way the camera is, it's not booms like that. He's emitting light. The cave is not shining light on him. The dude is emitting light of his own. Now, I'll let you hear what's behind me. If anyone can translate, let me know what they're saying. I rebuke everything they're saying if it's not of God. So they are literally praying over this man. Some kind of language, some kind of religion praying over him, and you can see him getting lighter and lighter, and even the aura around the lightness, which proves it's not coming from like a cave top, but literally the light is coming from him itself. Look at the glare coming off of him. Like you can literally see light pulsating back in and out through from that source of light. So whether there was a small light in the top, his light himself increased. I can't understand it because of the language, but the Bible says beware of these false wonders and false lights that come into the earth. Even the devil can appear as an angel of light. So just because you see light does not mean it's a good thing or a miraculous type thing. It really depends on what these people are saying. I mean, that's crazy. They're emitting from him, not a cave top.
Reality glitches caught on camera. Where did she go? Cat couldn't move further, huh? Can someone explain this?
Yeah, that last one was trippy. Definitely got NPC vibes. And on the red carpet, where did she go? It's not skinwalkers. It's shadow people.
Guys, dude, the GameStop thing just keeps on getting crazier and crazier this week. And the internet is full of people that have no idea what they're talking about. Mainstream media is lying through their teeth. I'm gonna fill you in on what's actually going on as someone who has been here the whole time. Because first off, it's running so hard right now that it halted again. And they're actually saber rattling as though Roaring Kitty is manipulating the market and causing this price run. Bro, the whole reason why we are all pissed is because we don't affect the price at all. Our trades don't even go to the market. Just the institutions push it all around with their big money while they put our orders away into dark pools that don't actually affect the prices. The whole thing is rigged. And if you don't believe me, here is the head of the SEC telling you that.
When you place a market order in the US, a market order at a retail platform, well over 90% of those trades go straight to the dark market, to a wholesaler that bought that order flow rather than competing trade by trade.
Look at that face right there. That's the face of what the fuck did you just say? So right there, Gary Gensler has just debunked all of the mainstream narrative about what's happening this last month with GameStop. Really, it debunked the entire narrative for the last 3 years that this is a meme stock caused by our sentiment, caused by us trading it. No, it's not. The term meme stock was invented by the financial media in order to teach you to not pay attention to this, because our trades don't affect the price. The only thing our trades do is they trap the short sellers that were manipulating the price into a really bad situation, and they had to move all of their shorts into crazy weird derivatives to hide the short interest. And when you put all your shorts, like lots of them, like way more than number of shares that exist, when you hide them in derivatives and swaps, suddenly the price gets really fucking weird. Meme stocks aren't because meme investors are affecting the market. We don't affect the market. Meme stocks are because crime is happening behind the scenes, and that is making the price do crazy fucking things. And we've had them trapped in their criminal wiggling for so long that something is breaking. So the next narrative they're pushing out is that E-Trade, his brokerage, is going to kick him off their platform for posting his position? As though it's illegal to talk about the stocks that you like and to post memes and positions? Isn't the whole point of what the SEC is trying to do to increase transparency in the markets? Like, isn't the whole job of the financial media to tell you what to buy and sell so that the market makers, the institutions, can use you as entrance and exit liquidity and take your money? Don't believe me? Here's our buddy Jim doing that over and over.
Jim Cramer's worst picks of all time. I gotta say right up front, when our research team started really looking into this, got downright impressive. Jim Cramer said the Tesla IPO was not a smart investment.
But after it comes public, listen, Tesla's a sell. You don't want to own this stock. You don't want to lease it. Heck, you shouldn't even rent the darn thing.
I'm not kidding. He really said that. Sounds more like a meme coin pump and dump than a nationally broadcast financial opinion show.
Now, nothing lasts forever, including the market's love affair with Magnificent Seven. But the bottom line, until we turn the corner in the pandemic, the earnings themselves are simply an abstraction for these thesis stocks, and any disappointment is simply one more reason to buy them.
7 stocks he picked were Netflix, Roku, Tesla, Peloton, Square, PayPal, and Zoom. And since Jim gave them his blessing, the Cramer curse has crushed almost all of them. Netflix down 60%, Roku 70%, Peloton 80%, PayPal and Zoom 65%. Interestingly, Square rebranded to the block, perhaps trying to avoid the curse of the Cramer, but despite their best efforts, they're still down 60%. The only one of the Magnificent Seven that is up is Tesla. But Jim covered himself on that one too by saying on January 3rd of this year that Tesla is not a buy, right before the stock pumped nearly 70%.
But don't worry, all the institutions that are telling Cramer what to say had already made their plays and were ready for the stock price to go down because they needed you to buy it so they could sell it to you and make money. Think about it. The media's job is to lie in every aspect. And in the financial media, that is the most important media to control because it's all about money. And the whole point of mainstream financial media is to mislead the public so that the wealthy that own the publications can get wealthier at your expense. And that brings us to the best part. Everyone was like trying to cast doubts, like Roaring Kitty sold his account. It's not really him. It's some fake. It's like, okay, bro, trust me, we know it's not. But now you can all see that it's not because he just posted a live stream scheduled for tomorrow. And now you can watch it for yourself. You can tune in and see what Keith thinks of everything. You can come hang out with all of us in the comments and shoot the shit. And you don't even have to wait till tomorrow because people are already blowing up the live chat, having a great time. Check this out. They're going crazy in here and it's on slow-mo.
Motherfuckers are in here 22 hours early having a fucking party.
It's on slow mode. One comment every 2 minutes. So yeah, I'm just here to tell you that if you're on the team that is not Roaring Kitty right now, you're on the wrong team. This has always been regular people against the big banks and the big institutions, and they have done everything they possibly can to try to trick you into thinking otherwise. Keith is not pumping and dumping. He's not here just to get rich. He's not here to sell on you. He's just here to post memes and have a great time and laugh at how fucked up all of this is. And whatever else he's here to do, he'll probably let you know tomorrow. So, this is your daily reminder to not trust anything the media says, to not trust any influencer who has an outside take who has clearly not been here for years, because they have no idea what they're talking about. The details are extremely complex, and you'd have had to be here for 3 years watching, researching, learning in order to understand it. But the play is actually really simple. A bunch of greedy motherfuckers shorted a company that they were sure they were going to bankrupt. And they shorted it so much that they had no way to exit their position without blowing themselves up. We caught them. We bought the stock, we held the stock, and they couldn't get out. They tried to trick you. They tried to pretend like they did get out, but all they did was hide their positions in weird, complex derivatives and swaps. And those swaps have been making meme stocks go crazy for the last 3 years. Oh, and by the way, during those last 3 years, this guy came along and turned the company around. It is now profitable. It has no debt. They have $2 billion of cash in the bank. They're not going anywhere. We've been watching, we've been learning, and we're still holding. There's only one way for them to get out of their trade, and that's to close their shorts. The only problem is they have to buy our shares from us in order to do it. And we're not selling, because this is a lot of fun.
Shout outs to Cancel This Clothing Company. Sound like the ball is in their court. I think it's pretty amazing.
So to Carl's point, the last kind of 24 to 48 hours has just been a microcosm in what's already been a very evident volatile trade in GameStop. Now, just yesterday around 1 p.m. Eastern time, GameStop shares kicked off what would become a massive intraday rally on just news that Keith Gill, that original meme stock trader from back in 2021 known as Roaring Kitty, said he had scheduled his first YouTube live stream appearance in roughly 3 years for noon Eastern time today. Immediately, that kicked off speculation that he would talk about his reported massive stake in the video game retailer. Now, a stake that has not been independently verified by CNBC. But the live stream announcement itself and subsequent 45% gain in the stock yesterday was then followed up with screenshots from Gill showing a stock and options position in GME that totaled at the time more than $500 million in market value at then prices. You fast forward to this morning when GameStop itself surprised the meme stock world by early releasing its quarterly report. It was supposed to come out later on next week. It showed that narrower than expected loss, but worse than expected revenues. That regulatory filing that showed the intent to sell up to 75 million shares of stock, that is what really kind of fueled the losses that we saw in the pre-market, kind of down sharply lower as you can see there. We're now down 21% of the session. It was most likely, again, driven by the stock sale plan as opposed to the actual fundamentals. So it looks like GameStop itself got a lot of their ducks in a row to take advantage of the Roaring Kitty live stream today. They got out all of their relevant financials into the public sphere, as well as their intention to sell stock into the recent rally, all ahead of the show at noon today. And by the way, if you want to talk about how much activity has been generated here, you take a look at just the moves that we've seen volatility-wise. You couple that with the volume, Carl, Sarah, David, that you guys have been talking about. That is why that GameStop construct has been such a sight to behold.
All because of this. Look at him. He's a fucking more. I'm a fucking idiot. Why of course I sell it. My freaking boat is trash, bro. Please down, bro. Hold on. It's going. Please, I'm trying to buy more.
You were the guy that told us all to get in. So
bro,
why would you sell?
I freaked out. I made a mistake. I didn't. It's going through. This is the one. I'm fucked. I sold at the worst time. It failed. It fucking failed, bro! All because of this. Look at him. He's a fucking idiot, bro.
Hey, whoa. You're the idiot. You're the one that fell. He didn't do anything.
Dang, bro. The tension is high. People jumping the gun, selling, calling Roaring Kitty names. Man, That's crazy.
Roaring Kitty just went live with over 600,000 people as he discusses the topic of GameStop. And he even went ahead and showed everybody his portfolio, his positions that he's open in. But this is my honest opinion, and maybe you guys all agree with me, or maybe nobody agrees with me. But if I was watching this stream, my honest opinion, as if I was hypothetically a GameStop believer, this stream quite honestly just pissed me off. It just felt like he didn't really know what to even say, or he didn't really know how to even talk. He wasn't giving anybody a direct answer. It was like, oh yeah, if it goes up, it is what it is. If it goes down, it is what it is, and anything I trade, it eventually goes down anyway. So if you lose money, don't blame me. And he's not wrong. 100%, he's not wrong at what he's saying at all. But if you have 600,000 people who are all holding GameStop, probably 90% of them, if you come on stream and you're showing your portfolio and you're talking about the stock that you basically pumped, and then you tell everybody that you're like not really that confident, you don't really care what happens, it is what it is type mentality, and as the price drops from 38 to 29, you're just smiling, like it kind of just feels like it's the biggest buy the rumor, sell the news event happening in real time. I don't know, that's my honest take. Maybe you guys have a different opinion, let me know. But again, he did go live. He is basically a billionaire. So at the end of the day, he is indeed the genius, and he's making a ton of money. As long as he remembers to take healthy profits.
600,000 people in the chat. Low key, I'll probably be mad too. Watching the price go down. Like, dang. A few bucks, but hey, a few bucks in the market's a few millions. I think maybe he's afraid of the SEC. Somebody might have got to him and had a talk. Like, hey man, listen, brother.
Hey, cautionary tale for everybody. Maybe don't invest if you can't afford to lose all your fucking money, which is the first rule of investing, and I completely know that. But after the first time with GameStop, we're all like, meep, meep. And then I'm watching the Roaring Kitty stream, and as he sits there and just goes, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just a guy. The stock is just tanking. Plummets, dude. I'm pissed off because I've been late to every trend. I wrote off GameStop the first time, missed out on that. I wrote off OF, okay? And got one only last year. And by the time I got there, you had to sell crazy shit to make any money. So I'm and TikTok too. Like, I'm just on this shit now. These points are not really related. I don't know. I'm just venting, but I just wish I could not be late to a trend for once, bro. And obviously don't invest if you don't know what you're doing or can't afford to lose that amount without stressing out like I am. Okay, that's the main takeaway. Everybody knows that. But I'm allowed to be a little upset about it, But what the fuck was I thinking? God! Anyway, I hope everybody who didn't invest in GameStop is having a great day.
I totally agree with her. If you don't got the money to get in the game, you can't afford them losses, don't do it. Make sure your rent is paid. Make sure you got extra money somewhere. And make sure you get good advice from a professional.
GameStop has 2 weeks to live. Roaring Kitty is live right now. I'm watching the live stream with my Roaring Kitty in my lap, and that looks hilarious. Still has not said a single word, but let me explain why there's only 2 weeks left to live for GameStop. It's finally talking.
Am I okay?
I don't know. You tell us.
That was a close call. I'm gonna get my shit set up there.
So for anyone who doesn't know, that man I just showed you, Roaring Kitty, has a position that is so large in GameStop that when GameStop inevitably hits $69 per share, he will be a billionaire. He owns $232 million worth of stock and then $324 million worth of call options. And he started this with just $50,000. I'm sure you guys remember that from 2021. I'm not going to explain the entire GameStop movement, what's happening with the stock, and what he's trying to do here with the giant short squeeze. that people are saying is going to send GameStop to $1,000 per share. I'm simply going to tell you something you need to know if you're involved. Those call options that he has that are equal to $300 million all expire on the 21st of June, which is 2 weeks away. If you don't know anything about call options or options in general, that means that in just 2 weeks, those options disappear and he has to claim them as shares or sell them onto the open market. I'm adding this in after the fact because I forgot to mention that if he decides in 2 weeks to exercise those call options and purchase the shares, he's going to have to come up with $250 million of cash, which means he's just going to sell those options. He's not going to exercise them, most likely. Now, what he does with this call option position, which he only has 2 weeks to decide on, matters monumentally because, as you can see right here, there are over 500,000 people watching this live stream. And he just played a cat video for the first 2 minutes of it. There are so many people right now watching what Roaring Kitty is doing that in the first hour of trading alone, GameStop was halted 6 times. Now, when stocks get halted, it is directly due to SEC regulations. These regulations can be correcting an imbalance, responding to other events, whatever that means, or responding to technical issues. Generally speaking, if they believe that someone is trying to manipulate the market, or if the market is moving too quickly, they can just halt a stock and kill all momentum, which is exactly what they're doing here. Usually it's if a stock is moving too quickly, they're trying to save investors. In this case, it's just because there are so many people on one side of the trade, and Wall Street has been shorting it for so long that they're getting cooked in this trade, so they just keep stopping it, hoping that the momentum dies down. But when there's literally 630,000 people now watching this live stream, the momentum is not dying down at all. But again, it's important for you to understand that that $300 million position he has in GameStop with these calls will change in just 2 weeks. So he needs GameStop to remain above this $20 price point, which looks like it should be easy because it's trading upwards of $35 right now. But you never know. I mean, GameStop out of nowhere today decided to report earnings ahead of this live stream that Roaring Kitty is doing, in which they only brought in $0.88 billion in the first quarter compared to 1.2 in this time last year. So their earnings are going down dramatically, and they decided to capitalize off of the price movement. GameStop decided to issue 75 million more shares, which just increases the float, making it harder and harder to pump a price of a stock. No matter what happens, I just want you guys to be aware of the scenario that's playing out here. GameStop can have a massive short squeeze, but ultimately it's going to be very, very difficult to get it by the SEC. They're probably going to continue to halt it and try and do everything they can to make it so that it doesn't end up wrecking Wall Street. It's all a giant game, okay? Pun intended. And when price goes up, price will inevitably come back down. So just make sure that you don't get caught with FOMO. Fear of missing out. If you have an obscene amount of profits in something like GameStop, just take your initials out and then play with house money. It's that simple. Then you can't lose. You literally can't lose.
For entertainment purposes only, make sure you do your own financial research before getting involved in the stock market. But at the end of the day, 500,000 people in the chat? Yo, to the point that the SEC had to halt trading 6 times today? Because so many people were watching, that's huge. Yeah, man, if it's Boeing, I ain't going. I told y'all that before. Yeah, Boeing need to tighten up, for sure.
A viral video claims to show the body of Gilgamesh, the ancient king of Uruk, discovered as the Euphrates River dries up. The video presents what appears to be a mummified king adorned with ancient relics and jewelry. However, this video is claimed to be a hoax. The footage features a mannequin dressed to resemble a mummified figure, complete with fake artifacts. This particular hoax is reported to trace back to a 2008 incident in Iran, where a similar fake royal mummy was discovered and later debunked. The mannequin used in both instances is remarkably similar, suggesting a recycled effort to perpetuate the myth. Why are so many people convinced by this? Is it something in the cadaver's expressionless face? Could this actually be a well-preserved Nephilim body?
Dang, this story is too real. Somebody need to make a movie of it. But man, it's hard to tell. I want to say it's a hoax. That is cap. Ain't no way a body could still maintain after all them years. That's what I'm thinking.
White Horse, stand by for salute report 2-1, over.
White Horse is Brown Horse, stand by to copy.
Line Sierra, 2-0 personnel. Line Alpha, patrolling what appears to be a headquarters, break. Line Lima, 3-8 Sierra.
Tuesday, April 29th, 2003. Roughly 2 months after U.S. forces invade Iraq, BBC News releases an article that is so strange it seems to go against the very nature of our reality. Now, in order to understand the true significance of this article, we need to take a journey back in time, all the way back to approximately 2,500 years before the birth of Christ, and to a place that we now know as modern-day Iraq. And it is here that we begin our story. Tales of supernatural beings can be found all over the ancient world. The Bible, the Book of Enoch, and the Book of Giants, as well as other ancient Jewish texts, all speak of an event where fallen angels descended to earth and fooled mankind with their knowledge of science, war, and beauty. It is also recorded that these fallen angels, or watchers as they are called in the ancient text, manipulated the genetics, the DNA of mankind, creating an actual race of giants, as well as other hideous monsters using animal DNA. Descriptions of these disgusting beasts can be found in the Book of Giants, which, by the way, was part of the Dead Sea Scrolls collection. Parallel to that, other ancient texts speak of the same exact event, except it's from the fallen angels, or the Watchers' perspective. In ancient Babylon and Mesopotamia, for example, the Watchers were seen as a good thing. They came to help mankind, and they showed people how to do cool things. And they also created a mighty race of giants, men of renown. However, biblical accounts reveal these things to be evil, fallen angels led by Lucifer himself, who want nothing less than the total destruction of mankind. Quote, according to Mesopotamian myth, there were 7 Apkallu before the flood and 4 afterward. The word Apkallu comes from the Sumerian Ab, meaning water, Gal, meaning big, and Lu, meaning man. They were considered only partly evil, occasionally dangerous, and capable of malicious witchcraft. They were chimeric in appearance, usually depicted as humanoid with wings, or sometimes as hybrid birdman or bizarre fishman creatures. The antediluvian Apkallu were divine, just like the Watchers. According to one story from the Babylonian period, the Epic of Era was the god of pestilence and plague. Marduk banished the Apkallu to the Abzu as a punishment for provoking him to send the flood. Supernatural beings linked to a global flood who are afterward banished to the abyss? Sound familiar? Interestingly, the 4 Apkallu who appeared after the flood were only partly divine and could mate with humans. Again, like the Watchers, the last of the post-flood Apkallu, Lunana, who was 2/3 Apkallu, matches the status of Gilgamesh, who was described as being 2/3 divine and 1/3 human. On the cylinder seal, Gilgamesh is called Lord of the Apkallu and is elsewhere credited with bringing back great knowledge that existed before the flood. Scholars who have made the connection between the Apkallu and the Watchers tend to interpret the way the Watchers are portrayed in Jewish literature from Second Temple period, like the Book of Enoch, at least partly as a Jewish response to the Babylonian captivity. It was believed that the Apkallu, though potentially dangerous, had preserved secret pre-flood knowledge prized by the pagan wizards of Babylon. To the Jews, however, such knowledge was evil, and the Watchers were portrayed accordingly in Enochian texts. End quote. So, we have one epic story seen through 2 different lenses. On the one hand, we have the creator of the universe, the God of the Bible, telling the story. He is saying, yes, these fallen Watchers are evil, and you need to avoid them at all costs. And on the other hand, we have the account from the Watchers themselves, saying, hey, that little guy, referring to God, I wouldn't worry about that little guy.
That little fella. Well, that little guy.
I wouldn't worry about that little guy.
Quote, scholars have known for years that there are parallels in the Mesopotamian legends and the biblical accounts of the patriarchs. Enoch is similar to an antediluvian king named Emidarenki, and Noah is variously called Unapistim in Babylon, Zisudara in Sumer, and Atrahasis in Akkad. But even those accounts are part of a fallen realm military campaign, a supernatural psyop. For example, the accounts from Mesopotamia portray Gilgamesh as a mighty warrior, a hero, 2/3 god and 1/3 man. He has adventures and slays monsters, notably Humbaba, the defender of the faraway cedar forest, who'd been assigned to terrorize humans by the god Enlil, who is Enki's brother. In the Second Temple Jewish account known as the Book of Giants, Gilgamesh was himself one of the gigantic offspring of the Watchers, as was Humbaba, the monster Gilgamesh set out to kill. This is how Gilgamesh was viewed by the Jews between the time of the Babylonian captivity and the birth of Jesus. Basically, he was one of the Nephilim, end quote. One of the Nephilim. In case you don't know what a Nephilim is, it's the unholy offspring between the fallen Watchers and a human woman. Yeah. Moving back to Gilgamesh, he was a giant, part supernatural being, part human, otherwise known as a Nephilim. Now, here's where it gets crazy. Scholars actually believe Gilgamesh existed. And not only that, this article from 2003 the BBC News put out says they may have actually found his tomb. Quote, Gilgamesh tomb believed found. Archaeologists in Iraq believe they may have found the lost tomb of King Gilgamesh, the subject of the oldest book in history. The Epic of Gilgamesh, written by a Middle Eastern scholar 2,500 years before the birth of Christ, commemorated the life of the ruler of the city of Uruk, from which Iraq gets its name. Now, a German-led expedition has discovered what is thought to be the entire city of Uruk, including where the Euphrates once flowed, the last resting place of its famous king. I don't want to say definitely that it was the grave of King Gilgamesh, but it looks very similar to that described in the epic. Jörg Fassbinder of the Bavarian Department of Historical Monuments in Munich told the BBC World Service's Science in Action program, end quote. So, let's take a look at this in the big picture and see if anything makes sense. Because as of now, this whole thing still remains a mystery. First off, the Bible says there will be a time when the Nephilim return. Some people believe this is a spiritual return by demonic possession. Others believe it's physically, as in a return of the giants. Fast forward 2,000 years, archaeologists find Gilgamesh's tomb in Iraq, 2 months after US forces take over the country. Is it possible that when news broke of the discovery of Gilgamesh's tomb, orders were given from the highest possible levels of government, and US troops arrived at the site to seal it off? DNA was collected from the skeleton and brought to a top-secret underground research lab where tests were conducted. Tests involving cloning technologies and CRISPR-Cas9. Of course, the only thing we can do is speculate. So what do you think about this? Do you think they really found Gilgamesh's tomb in 2003 as this article states? If so, what happened to it, and why is there no mention of the contents? Or maybe what they found was so insignificant that they thought all news coverage should just stop.
We're observing everything to the west of that MSR. Can you see the palm grove in the northwest quadrant? Call contact.
Format, I see 2 prominent palm groves, not sure which one you're calling.
Okay. Do you contact the dump truck heading north in the quadrant?
Format, contact the dump truck.
In about a minute.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely found something. In just 2 days, they found it, allegedly. And the giants that's supposedly supposed to come back are actually clones, like Attack of the Clones. You know, Billy Carson did say this is the real Star Wars. This is what Hollywood was based off of.
In 2003, German archaeologists announced a significant discovery in Iraq at what they believed to be the tomb of the legendary King Gilgamesh, a central figure in the ancient Sumerian epic bearing his name. Just 5 months later, Iraq was invaded by the United States. Amidst the ensuing conflict, the Iraq National Museum in Baghdad was looted. This looting wasn't a random act of chaos. It appeared to be a well-coordinated operation, employing shaped charges and other professional techniques. Thousands of invaluable artifacts, including those with potential connections to the Anunnaki, were stolen. The figure of Gilgamesh is often depicted as a giant in ancient texts. Interestingly, there are modern accounts of soldiers encountering giant figures in the Middle Eastern deserts, sparking further speculation about the connections between ancient myths and contemporary events. Following the invasion, the U.S. military established a base in the ancient city of Babylon. This presence led to the destruction of some historical artifacts, and numerous items were taken from the site. It is widely believed that the military was searching for something of significant historical and possibly esoteric value. The city of Nimrud was founded more than 3,300 years ago. It was one of the capitals of the Assyrian Empire. The Iraqi government has confirmed that the site was attacked by armed extremists using bulldozers on the 5th of March, 2015. Why would so many powerful entities and governments go to such lengths to acquire or destroy these ancient Sumerian artifacts? What secrets could these relics hold? Are we on the brink of uncovering advanced technologies from a forgotten era? Or perhaps the remnants of a stargate capable of bridging worlds? Could these artifacts be linked to the technology of the Anunnaki? Or even the legendary Nephilim? The answers remain hidden beneath the sands of time. In the end, we are left to ponder. What truths lie within these ancient artifacts? And why do they hold such a profound and enduring allure?
I am L.A. Marzulli, coming to you from an undisclosed location, somewhere deep in the heart of the Santa Monica Mountains. Someone sent me this. I wondered if you have seen it. Hillary Clinton's email looking for Nephilim in the body resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh. So this is a Freedom of Information Act. I remember when I saw this, I about fell out of my chair. I couldn't believe it. But then I took a step back and looked at it. So what this really is, let's say via the Freedom of Information Act, I write to Hillary Clinton and I ask her, dear, Madam Clinton, is there any truth about the Gilgamesh tomb that allegedly was uncovered during the Iraq War? That's all that is. In other words, it's a question. Anyone can pen that. It has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton somehow looking into it or talking about it. This is a Freedom of Information request that could have been written by who knows whom. So that's how that works. And if you don't know how it works, when you see that, most people immediately go, oh, Hillary Clinton's looking into this. No, someone's writing to Hillary Clinton trying to find out about it. But if you've got a question, shoot us an email at questions@lamarzulli.net.
Damn. Facing 10 years for a stunt like that? Yeah, I get it's a crime, but 10 years? Yo, just get a man a fine and call it a day.
Killed while attempting to take a selfie next to an oncoming train. 29-year-old Dulcie Alondra was with her young son to watch a vintage steam train pass through a town north of Mexico City. As she attempted to take a selfie, Alondra pushed her son away from the tracks moments before she was struck by the vehicle. Alondra later died from her injuries.
Our condolences to the family of Alondra. Our prayers are with you. That's so sad. That's crazy.
Did you guys hear about this new zombie drug that's already running rampant in 9 states? They said this drug is 100 times more powerful than fentanyl, than these other types of zombie drugs that are running around right now, y'all.
Reports of a new so-called zombie drug. Police and medical officials in at least 9 states now sounding the alarm. NewsNation anchor Natasha Zuves is in the newsroom with more. So Natasha, what do we know about this new drug?
Hi there, Nicole. It is concerning. We are tracking this new drug triggering overdoses, and you may remember the previous so-called zombie drug called xylazine or tranq. Well, now officials sounding the alarm, as you say, about this new zombie drug that is 100 times more potent than xylazine. So this new drug is based on the animal sedative medetomidine. Worsening scenes like this one in Philadelphia, the Kensington neighborhood, already overrun with tranq. And this medication is designed for animals, most typically. It is now cut, though, with drugs like fentanyl because it makes it more sedating. Users may perceive the hit as more powerful. But with high doses, the heart can slow and fail, causing sudden cardiac arrest. So I do want to show you this map tracking the spread of this. The Center for Forensic Science Research and Education releasing their findings. It is moving its way across the country. First reported in Maryland towards the end of 2022, and now it is in at least 9 states so far impacted by this new zombie drug. The latest centers are in Pittsburgh and Chicago, both seeing large-scale outbreaks of overdoses from this. This new zombie drug, Nicole, does not respond to naloxone, only worsening the current fentanyl epidemic, which the DEA says is the most dangerous and deadly drug crisis we have ever faced as a nation. Nicole?
So did she basically state that you can't treat this? Like, you cannot treat this with anything? Talk about a zombie apocalypse, y'all. Could this be the zombie apocalypse that we've all been talking about, that they've been showing us in movies and television shows? It sure sounds like it. If you cannot take anything to reverse the effects, then yeah, this is literally the zombie apocalypse on the rise. And in 9 states, y'all, already 9 states. So y'all be careful out there, man. Stay off the streets. Let me know what you guys think about this video. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift. Peace in.
基于我千辛万苦跑到云台天赋源头去看见一个水管这件事情。基于我千辛万苦跑到云台天赋源头去看见一个水管这件。
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. If you haven't already, please take a second
just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell,
just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So what we gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Until next time.